Sunshine, coming to you with my morning drive. Today it is a messy commute here, so I have my co-drivers. First, the powers that be in Archangel Michael, but I'll take my viewers with me, CPN and Vanessa Fields, because they're always concerned about that. Are you driving? So I'm taking the wheel today, and I'm taking my time getting there to work. So I will not be there on time, which everybody's used to. But like today's topic is karmic is not a bitch, it's a dojo. You know on my channel that I have changed dojo, and I'm gonna say it again because somebody might be new subscribing and don't know what the dojo when I'm talking about it on here. And many of you all, I thank you all for adopting and taking in that term to the next level, because again I wanted to give more of a positive light to understanding what karma is and what the karmic, whether it's a person, place, or thing, plays a part in our lives. And me trying to find another way of what karmic was, I looked up the definition. I said I want to find what's another word for a hard teacher. I was looking for maybe more so in Spanish or any kind of other language you might pop up with, or maybe it's even in English, a word that I'm not pretty much familiarizing. You know, I'm pretty much like a wordsmith. I like words and I like the play of words, and you'll see a lot of times on my community tabs that I have that on there stating, you know, I do word of the day, because words have power and they mean things. Death and life is in the power of tongue. So I did the dojo. I looked it up, long story short, which was the word that popped up was dojo, a place in which you learn the way. So I was like, yes, that is exactly the purpose of what karma or karmics play in our lives, is they help us to find the way of ourselves, like true enlightenment. Like really, after we know our purpose is to be a light worker, after we be in those kind of situations, we're able to shine the light on ourselves, and then in turn take that light and then shine it on upon others. Look, this is what I did to get out my karmic situation, or these are the lessons that I learned from my karmic situation. So you can in turn follow it, put your own twist to things, put your own little style or things and swag to it, so that you can be able to overcome it. Like you say, okay, well, it took you 5 days to get out that situation. When I did it, I applied to see what you did. It took me maybe about 1 or 2. Okay, so that is the purpose of these karmic situations. Several things that came to me, a lot of things that it helped me to really think about as far as doing today's topic, is because in my inbox I usually get a lot of like Lutheran will send me like messages of the day and little lessons and things, and it was talking about some prisoners that had been released, had escaped from a place by stealing a hot air balloon. And in this hot air balloon, it started losing altitude. So they started throwing things out, like clothes, things that they needed, clothes, food, water, you know, and they was like, dang. So each time they would do it, the first time they throwed out the clothes and stuff like that, they're like, well, get rid of that. So then it started losing pressure, so then it helped them to go back up again. So the next time, they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to get rid of the food. And they're like, oh, Lord. So like, but we lose altitude, we about to crash into this water, so we got to let it go. So they're like, okay, well, let the food go. And so next time, the third time, it started to lose altitude again. There's like, we're going to have to let go of this heavy basket. And there's like, but we ain't going to have no floor. So there's like, but we going to have to do it. So they went on ahead and said, okay, well, we'll just tie ourselves to the rope, and then that way we'll be able to. So lo and behold, they did. As soon as they had did that, they found themselves becoming closer to land, although it's by water. And so they jumped on off after that. They untied themselves and then jumped and got in and swam their way to the land, and they saved themselves. So I was like, okay, now what it is. Now the title of it was, sometimes our blessings can be a burden, which lets me think about as far as how sometimes the things that we're going through, I'll reverse it. The things that we're going through when we talk about karmically, they seem like they're a burden, but they're hidden in disguise as a blessing. That's the same thing just like with our DMs. I said that a long time ago, and I'm going to come back and revisit it again because I seen it on somebody's thing that was talking about how your DM is your karmic. And I said that before because sometimes your DM will sign up sometimes before you, whatever the agreement that you came on before you came back in spirit on this assignment, you all's higher selves got together. And you might have literally had told your DM, listen here, I don't want to learn no lesson from nobody else but you. I want you to be my good teacher, my bad teacher. Why? Because you know me well. And I know that when I get that lesson, I'm going to get it and I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be ready to go ahead and graduate. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to do this 4-lane crossover here. Hold on. Because they're slowing down. And so they will agree upon actually, you know, going ahead and they're agreeing upon to be that hard teacher for you. Because like I say, some of them bad teachers, you know you didn't have them in school. Those are the teachers that you got it and you gone and you like, baby, I got PTSD every time when I see trigonometry. I know the different equations that needed because that teacher beat it into me to make sure I knew my, hold on a second, knew my formulas, you know, or geometry or something like that, you know. So that causes a, what you blowing at? Ain't me. Maybe that's Archie Raphael said they're in agreement with that. So sometimes they will take on that dual role. Where we get lost at when the DM takes on those dual roles is that you know, it becomes very hard because once you get almost that Stockholm syndrome, it's like, okay, you was my captive, you two was abusive of me, and I'm turning around and I'm loving you at the same time. So I don't feel too right about this change here because you know, you was my abuser. And, you know, at the same time, you know, you start having that conversation with yourself and saying, no, I don't know if this feel right. But you're like, but I love him. And some tell me instinctively I was supposed to love him. That goes back to what I talked about yesterday, where you got to get to the point where you use unconditional love. You've got to get to the point of understanding, okay, you taught me the lesson. It was a reason for that. I know that it was for me to be a blessing and become more of a greater person than I am, for me to get in touch with myself and to be just like what I talked about yesterday on that bridge in Sex and the City. When we do come together in union, we agreed that whatever happened in the past, and to just let it go, okay? Not for me to continue on with the past, like you hurt me, you did X, Y, Z. And, you know, like one of my subscribers says, I can't remember what, like she said, it's a process. It's a process of me actually getting to that point. And I was like, yeah, you got to surrender, you got to do X, Y, Z. I see what she doing. You got, ooh, this seat is hot. And it might put you in the hot seat. That's a good thing. As the divine feminine, you might put yourself in a hot seat as well. But you got to understand that because of that, just like a diamond, you got to go through all those pressurized processes so you can be able to, I'm about to go through the front because I know he gone by now. You're going to have to go through all those pressurized different systems and stuff so you could be able to, you know, to be able to shine truly and be divine. Shine and be divine. Shine and divine. You know, those two things together. So in order for you to really have that, like say, no, you can't have no crown unless you have thorns. If you want to be Christ-like, or to be be a way shower. Because again, people need you to go through that stuff for you to be able to actually, so you to be able to show the way. Like I say, I don't want nobody leading me if you ain't been through half of the stuff I done been through. At least be able to talk about the topic. And I know, oh, well, that's, yeah. I think about that. That's the same thing. You don't know how people really feel until you had it. That's like the experience with me having my dad. That when Mom and I was talking about that, somebody was talking, she was talking about the doctor she had. And when she went to the doctor, she was telling her, that I don't want to, these pills and medicines that you're giving me, I got to kind of watch it because, again, I'm still dealing with the death of my husband. I'm kind of emotionally up and down, things of that nature. So her mom's regular doctor wasn't on. So this doctor was coming very clinical. And she's like, okay, yeah, well, it takes time, And then she proceeded to go right on back into like, okay, let's go ahead and do what she said. And so my mom was like, you didn't hear me at all. She said, you could tell when she said, it's different than my doctor. My doctor would sit, talk to me. Now, she might push me back to what she actually want me to actually do, but I feel like she was really listening to me. She really sympathized with me, and she was really, truly empathetic about it, not just listening and just saying things that seem like it. That's what she's saying a lot of times when people experience things, rather as deaf or not, you can tell that they're coming from a sincere point of view that you like, yeah, they done been there, they done been in my shoes, they understand, and then that creates that thing of trust as well. And so for her, like I said, if you got somebody who's in the form of a leadership role, you got to at least be able to say yeah, or something to touch upon it, or come around it to bring you right back to that thing to say, yeah, they might not have, but the way they put it all together, it seems like they really do understand where I'm coming from. And that's why I was like, I don't know if I want to go. You're gonna take it anyway. If you want somebody to go on ahead and to actually do that, and they not really coming from a premise or basis of really truly understanding, especially when you're on this twin flame journey. It's a lot of things you cannot apply that I call it, that will be like the like music, the secular stuff don't apply to some of the things of the gospel, or the gospel don't apply to the secular. So some of the twin flame stuff you can't apply that same secular or the regular people's stuff, philosophy or ideology, in order to solve some of the issues that's going on with that. Some of it is genuine. That's why I try to tell Mom, yeah, when I talk to her, I was like, yeah, that kind of go, but then when you come to twin flame, you got to up the ante, and you got to add another layer to it. It's a little different than that. And so that's something you got to kind of like, to keep in mind when we're talking about in this journey as well. So who's going on now? But anyway, that's an interesting twist. And so when I was talking about it, and I was trying to research on how to do the image or the picture for this, it was interesting on that I usually do Sparkle. If I can't go too fast or find something, I usually rely upon them. And they were showing me all things of peaceful things and the chakras and people namaste. And then I found the one that I'm putting on here now as the cover, where you had a woman, she's turning the wheel, and then you got in front of that is like a gold statue of a man with like this thing that stick like work. And it's interesting as is when we're talking about karmically, how you are really, karma helps you to be able to turn the wheel. What do you mean? Which means to, after you go through those karmic situations, or the dojo, which again is to help you learn the way, which is help you to turn the wheel, you'll be able to come into that enlightened self, or in your thinking, in your thoughts, because that's the most thing that we got to kind of, the emotions, yeah, but your thinking, you've got to really get mastery, to me, when I think about in the karmic, because the karmic thing, situation, or the dojo situations, is really about your thinking. How do you take that and your perspective of being in those situations. How do you create change as far as you being in those dojo situations to be able to see the actual way, or the way in which the universe or the powers that be want you to actually go? And that creates that big shift. And sometimes you got to find yourself, just like me driving this car, you're going to have to turn the wheel. What used to be up must come down. What used to be down must come up. You got to change. You got to get rid of those things that's not relevant. And that's why these dojo situations come along, is for you to actually to do that. It's not to say that, oh my God, I thought you should cross the street. For you to be like the DM, which I see Divine Master look like he's across the street, then he's like, nah, I don't think I am. Let me kind of get myself a little bit more ready. That's the same thing, just like what's said about with the Divine Master, or in your thinking, the DM energy. It's just to say, am I really truly ready to cross this street, or do I need to really get myself more prepared? And that's what the dojo situation is for you to get more prepared, for you to be able to cross over the street and go on to wherever your destination, like the young man was doing. You're kind of youthful in your thinking. That's why he's kind of young. You got some maturity, but you're not all the way, and that's why these dojo situations help to come along to help you to mature you, and to prepare you to be able to be ready to become like that gold statue that say, hey, he looked like he said, I done did the work, and now I've come out pure as gold. Okay, I'm shining. In these situations, and that's what we have to remember again, that with the with our counterparts, rather the divine masculine, the divine feminines, they have put us in those situations that we come out to understand, to learn that they're not the bad guy. You know, at the end, we understanding that that's what we got to get to, the point of understanding that they came to really. We should be looking at them and saying, thank you that you agreed to sign up to do this. And that's why yesterday, some ways I was crying, because it's like they ain't really getting our purpose. We looking like we the bad guy in it. And that's true. I mean, if you're looking from a secular, as I call it, a regular person's point of view, yeah, it is. But we should get to the point that now where we are, this is why we having these towers and these aha moments and these, but they say these karmic cycles is coming to the end. Again, changing that perspective, changing and turning that wheel. So now we can look at it and understand, like they say, the sign on John Hay here say, to believe in ourselves. That's the whole main objective for them to do that. And that's where we should be now moving and understanding and looking at our counterparts differently. It's getting to the point of saying, okay, thank you. I don't like the lessons that come in, but I thank you that you went on ahead and took on this role as being my teacher, my hard teacher. Because like I said before, that's really love. Like I had to tell my mom about Dad. I said, yeah, he signed on to be your karmic or your dojo teacher. It was hard as hell, you know. But again, like I said, you have to thank him. You know, I say in some ways, we were saying at the end, she's like, you know, he was bad. Dad did some nasty things. He did some nasty things, and we know, even I've talked to psychics, everybody else, he looked back in retrospect to say, you know, I'm sorry. I just come from a place I didn't really know how much I was loved. And if you don't love yourself and you don't love others, it's very kind of hard for you to really be able to see love when it's in action. It's in 3D, or it's right there at you in your face, you know, and that's what we are really praying. So my thing is, I'm picking it up and they're saying that, right, once you get to be able to see that it's in love, then they'll be able to understand that what they're doing is in love. They're able to see it, because it goes, yes, indeed, one. They say, yes, that's true. That's from the one. That's from the source that said that. Say, yes, indeed, what I'm saying is true. Once you be able to make that shift and see that they're doing it in love, then they'll be able to say, oh, I am love. I am acting in love. Returning. And that will create the shift in them. One thing they bring to me again is to also to remember to do the Hono prayer, Honopono prayer. I know April gonna be like, girl, which is again an old Hawaiian prayer that you said to be able to cover everything and to get rid of all of those, to hold, clear and transmute across all space and time. The things that you have to understand of getting to the point of forgiveness, which you say, I apologize. Please forgive me. I love you. thank you. Say it again. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I always get mixed up, but it don't matter about the order of how it goes about that. That even I feel right there, and there's a shift. You're doing that across the family members that have been played as your karmic. Also you giving that to say to your DM that's done it, to yourself most of all. You're doing that, and you're clearing that all across space and time for you to be able to understand, because like I say, everything serves its purpose. In order for you to be able to see the good, you got to see the bad, and that intensifies it more. You're more of, well, that's right, I got to turn. Thank you, truck, for reminding me, because I can't park in my same spot because I'm late. So you could be able to have that understanding and that shift in your consciousness of understanding that, you know, karmic is not a bitch, it's a hard teacher, and it's the hard teacher that comes so it can be able to help you to show the way. And that's where we got to come for that point. And so from this point on, I understand what karmic cycle is coming to an end. Thanking God for that, for those lessons, asking that, and making sure that those lessons do not come back again to show their face again. That's important of understanding that and understanding what it serves its purpose. Okay, I'm here because I'm parked in another spot here today. So let me just end it here and say, have a sunshine-filled day. Let me park and then I can do it and say my thing. Okay, yeah, because I got to come from here. Yicky-yak. Okay. This is my old spot. I used to park here a long time ago, then I stopped. Because it's too hard. All right. So, as usual, it's the same thing. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this. Again, share. I'm doing good things on here. So, make sure that you do that and share everybody else so they can get this word and this inspiration of the keys into union. Keep energizing yourself into union right here on Divine Unisouls 11. All right, until next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, Namago. Love you.